Tap water. Every day it looks identical. Clear, cold, harmless. Tap water is treated to be safe. Chlorine handles the bacteria. Fluoride goes in for your teeth. But safe and consistent aren't the same thing, and what happens between the plant and your glass is where the story actually starts. Hard water areas deliver calcium and magnesium with every glass, not a supplement dose, but a daily input that adds up over months and years. Bone density, muscle recovery, nerve function, quietly supported or quietly missing depending on your postcode. Soft water areas deliver almost none of that. Same glass, same habit, but a different body response. The lead doesn't come from the treatment plant. It leaches from older pipes on the way to your glass. It doesn't look, smell, or taste different. It just accumulates, and over time it affects how clearly you think, how much energy you have, and how well your nervous system performs. Your tap water has been doing something to your body every glass. Most people just never thought to check what that something was. Purified water. You switched to purified water to make a healthier choice. And in one way, you did. In another way, you created a problem you can't feel directly. Purified water runs through reverse osmosis or distillation, systems built to strip everything out. Chlorine, bacteria, heavy metals, gone. But the process doesn't know the difference between what shouldn't be there and what your body was counting on. Calcium, magnesium, trace minerals, removed with everything else. What's left is water in its cleanest, emptiest form. And empty has a cost. Clean water removes what shouldn't be there. It also removes what your body was quietly relying on. Your body needs dissolved minerals to move water across cell membranes and actually use it. Without them, a portion of what you drink passes through instead of absorbing. You're hydrating, just not efficiently. The result doesn't feel like dehydration. It feels like everything running just below where it should. Energy that dips. Focus doesn't hold. Muscles take longer to recover. Nothing extreme. Nothing you'd connect back to the water. Just slightly underperforming every single day. Some brands add minerals back in after purification. Enough to improve the taste. Rarely enough to close the gap. Spring water. Every other water type on this list either strips minerals out or adds them back in. Spring water never went through either step. What's in it got there by moving through layers of rock and soil over thousands of years. Calcium, magnesium, bicarbonates. Present because the geology put them there. Not because a processing step reintroduced them. Not because a lab decided the levels. Because that's what the source left behind. This distinction matters more than it sounds. When minerals are stripped out and added back in, they're reintroduced at levels chosen for taste or cost, not necessarily at levels that do anything meaningful for your body. Spring water never had that conversation. The mineral profile is whatever the earth decided. And in most natural springs, that profile has been consistent for thousands of years. What those minerals are working on matters. Bone density, muscle contraction, nerve signaling, energy production, sleep quality. These are the functions you feel when they're running low. The fatigue that doesn't make sense. The sleep that doesn't recover you. The muscles that cramp without obvious reason. Spring water isn't delivering anything new. It's delivering what your body already runs on, in the form it arrived in before anyone decided to improve it. For a lot of people, that's the baseline they've been missing without knowing it. Mineral water. Mineral water has a legally documented mineral profile that doesn't change bottle to bottle, and that consistency is what makes it function more like a supplement than just a bottle of water. Spring water varies by season and source. Tap water varies by region. Purified water delivers almost nothing. Mineral water delivers the same documented profile every single time, and at concentrations high enough to actually move the needle. Some high mineral waters sit above 2,500 milligrams per liter of dissolved solids. That's not a trace amount. That's a contribution your body can use. But if your daily mineral intake is low, consistently drinking water with a guaranteed mineral profile is one of the quietest ways to close that gap. One that's been in development for a few thousand years. The irony is that most people think of mineral water as a luxury item, something fancy or unnecessary, when in reality it's closer to a nutritional choice than a lifestyle one. Alkaline water sits above a pH of 7, adjusted through ionization or added minerals. The alkaline body claim gets a lot of attention, but what it's actually doing to you has less to do with your body's pH and more to do with your esophagus and your recovery after hard output. Your stomach acid neutralizes it almost immediately, so the idea that drinking it makes your body alkaline doesn't hold up. Your body regulates its own pH tightly. That part is marketing. But the effects that do hold up are worth knowing. Before alkaline water hits your stomach, it passes through your esophagus. For people with acid reflux, that higher pH deactivates pepsin, the enzyme that causes that burning sensation, before stomach acid even enters the picture. Studies show measurable symptom improvement with regular use. That's mechanism, not marketing. Post-exercise recovery is the other defensible angle. Hard training builds up lactic acid in your muscles, that heavy burning feeling that slows recovery. Alkaline water may help buffer that buildup faster than regular water. The evidence isn't dramatic, but it's consistent enough to be worth noting. Most people buying alkaline water are buying it for the wrong reasons. The pH hype doesn't hold up, but for acid reflux sufferers and people training hard, the effects that do hold up are specific, measurable, and genuinely useful. Sparkling water is still water, just with carbon dioxide pushed into it under pressure. Carbonation changes more than the texture of your water. It actively affects your digestion, your appetite, and how quickly your body processes what you're drinking. That CO2 doesn't just sit there. The moment it hits your system, it starts doing things. And if you've ever noticed sparkling water settling your stomach faster than still water or feeling fuller after a glass, that's not coincidence. That's the carbonation working. People who drink it regularly before meals tend to eat less without trying. The expansion in your stomach triggers fullness signals to your brain before the food even arrives, not because of any special ingredient, just physics and your body responding to it. For people with chronic indigestion or swallowing issues, sparkling water shows measurable improvement over still water in studies. Your digestive system moves more efficiently, symptoms ease. Most people drinking it have no idea that's happening. The one thing worth watching: if sparkling water is your all-day drink, the mild acidity from carbonation can affect tooth enamel over time. Not dramatically, but consistently, over months and years, it adds up the same way everything else on this list does. Bubbles in sparkling water aren't just a preference. They change how your body processes the water. Electrolyte water is water with sodium, potassium, and magnesium added back in, the minerals that run your body's hydration process at the cellular level. Think of electrolytes as the delivery system for water. The water gets you to the door. They're what actually bring it inside. Most people don't know that hydration isn't just about how much water you drink. It's about how much of that water actually makes it into your cells. Electrolytes run that process. Without them, water moves through your system without being fully absorbed. You drink and still feel thirsty. Electrolyte water is built around that mechanism. Water with sodium, potassium, and magnesium added in ratios that support cellular absorption. Under normal conditions, your body manages fine, but under specific conditions, it doesn't. Hard exercise, heavy sweating, heat exposure, illness, a night of drinking. These are the situations where sodium and potassium drop fast, faster than plain water can replace them. Focus drops, reaction time slows, muscles cramp and stop recovering cleanly. These aren't dramatic symptoms. They're the quiet ones that show up an hour into a workout or the morning after a long day in the heat. Plain water in those moments dilutes the electrolytes you have left. Electrolyte water restores what you lost. The gap between who needs it and who's drinking it is basically the entire sports drink industry. Electrolyte water without the sugar, the dye, and the cartoon lightning bolt on the label is genuinely useful. Just make sure the conditions actually call for it. Luxury water. Premium water isn't a separate category from mineral water. It's the top end of it. Same principle, more specific source, and a mineral profile that's often higher and more distinct than anything else on this list. The difference shows up in what's actually dissolved in it, and what your body does with that every time you drink it. Luxury water comes from very specific sources. Volcanic aquifers, deep limestone springs, glacial runoff. That source determines the mineral profile, and in these cases, it's often higher and more distinct than standard bottled water. It's not random, it's consistent, tied directly to the geology it came from. Some of these waters contain measurable levels of compounds most people aren't getting much of elsewhere. Silica shows up in certain volcanic waters and plays a role in connective tissue and skin structure. Bicarbonates in limestone-based waters interact with stomach acid, making digestion feel smoother after meals. Higher calcium and magnesium levels support muscle function and nerve signaling, the same systems that start to feel off when intake runs low. You're not drinking a completely different substance. You're drinking water with a more concentrated mineral profile, one that contributes a little more every time. Small inputs, repeated consistently. Used occasionally, it's just expensive water. Used daily, it becomes a steady input your body can actually use. Every water you drink is making a choice for your body, whether you made it consciously or not. Let us know in the comments which one you're switching to, and if this made you think twice about what you're putting in your body, the next video will do the same.